Can I have a motion can I call the meeting to order? This is the wrong page. We're going to reconvene to open session. Attendance roll call. President Rothberg Allen here. Clerk Reed. Trustee Lopez Jones. Trustee Rios. Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Enriquez.
I thought she was coming, but absent now.
Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, did you need to say the part about? Yep. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A link to a live Spanish interpretation of the Zoom meeting is posted on both Facebook and our district website for anyone who would like to listen. En Facebook y el sitio web del distrito tenemos publicado un enlace para acceder a la interpretación en vivo en español de la reunión por Zoom, para quienes desean escucharla. Gracias.
District mission statement. At Calistoga, we empower students to graduate with respect, empathy, integrity, and the skills needed for success in life and work. We provide a supportive, inclusive environment where students gain essential academic knowledge, critical thinking abilities, and real-world skills. Our goal is to ensure all students feel a sense of belonging, are prepared for future opportunities, and graduate with pride, resilience, and a passion for lifelong learning. Public business from the floor, non-agenda items.
Leave the microphone alone. Is that what he said? Okay. Trust him. Okay. Excellent. Trust and learn. One public comment was sent via email to be read. So, dear Calistoga School Board, I'm writing to express my concern about the elementary school drop-off and pickup traffic patterns. I'm sure you are all aware of the traffic and safety challenges that we all see every day, especially in the morning during the drop-off period. So I will not go into detail about that in this comment. After chatting with a few other parents about the issue and now having learned that there was a parent who was struck in the crosswalk, I felt compelled to write a public comment. It seems like there could be a relatively easy improvement to the problem. There is a drop-off drive-through lane that has been specifically designed and built to alleviate the problems that we are encountering. Why is that lane closed during critical traffic hours? Why are we not using that lane for what it was specifically designed for? Adding another lane of drop-off capacity may not entirely solve the problem, but it would alleviate some pressure and congestion on Lake Street. Would it require one or two people to control traffic to ensure smooth flow? Probably. But then we would have more throughput traffic capacity in the critical 15-minute period during drop-off, which would alleviate a lot of the problem, which would save future accidents. There have been 3 major accidents in that intersection that I am aware of, one of which resulted in the death of a child. This is not a hypothetical if, because it has happened, and just happened recently, although that incident thankfully did not result in a death. Why would the district not take every precaution to protect the safety of our parents and students, especially when we already have a tool built specifically to solve that problem? Open the lane. And while we're making improvements to traffic patterns, closing the gate on the side parking lot at 8:10 might also help alleviate parents from the ill-advised last-minute drop-off in that lot, which results in disastrous U-turns in a space not designed for that type of traffic. Smaller issue than the aforementioned Berry Street traffic, but still an issue worth addressing. Thank you, Mr. Douglas Allen.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right. Food service presentation. Oh, I should move the thing. Sorry. Oh my God. Do anything.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I probably don't need the mic, but got it to work. So, hello, everybody. My name is Rosa Rubio. I'm the Director of Food Services. I just wanted to quickly share this image is of one of our own wildcats. His name is Andres Diaz Garcia. He was in paid intern. He was paid by the Chef Ann Foundation, and he worked in our kitchen last school year. We are the first district to have a student paid intern with the Chef Ann Foundation. So I'm really proud that we were able to do that. Right now, we are hosting our third intern, and we split him between the elementary and the high school. His name is John David Kawaga. So he is with us for the fall of 2025. So, starting off with our free and reduced counts, we are at an district-wide, we are at an 85.5%. There are breakdowns here. On the left side, you'll see the district-wide, and then on the right side, it's broken down by school site. Also, this percentage will take us for as far as LCFF funding, it will be valid for the next 4 years. We are also a community eligibility school for the next 4 years. So regardless of what's happening with the cut downs, our meals will be free for the next 4 school years. So this school year was basically our base year to get our free and reduced meal percentage. As far as our meal participation goes, at our elementary school, we have typically an average of 208 students who have breakfast and 296 for lunch. Palisades, we have a full participation at that school. Within our Calistoga Junior Senior High School has an average of 220 breakfasts per day and 165 for lunch. These are our school district size totals, but at our high school, we vend meals to 2 of our neighboring schools. So for our Pope Valley School District, we have an average of about 15 daily breakfasts and 30 lunches. And for our Howell Elementary School, we have about 75 breakfasts and 66 lunches that we vend meals to. I wanted to highlight our second chance breakfast at our elementary school. We offer breakfast at 8 a.m. with an average of 47 students, and our second chance during recess is about 160 students. Typically, our overall 5 preferred options are bagels, cereals, breakfast sandwich, conchas, or scones. Our scones are homemade. So even though when we're looking at data, our second chance breakfast has a strong success, I still think that we have an opportunity to refine it. I think that we could better improve our schedule at that site because sometimes some grade levels are having the opportunity to have a second chance breakfast, and then 20 minutes later they have our lunch. So I do think that our schedule should probably be looked at to help improve that. Anything with like an asterisk, like our cereal, it means that we have a protein on the side, such as string cheese or a hard-boiled egg. So all the asterisks have a protein. So when we write our menu, we don't really add our protein items in because those are, they're variable. They change. Also, it's been a couple of school years that we have, this is our second school year that we have been working with Sonoma Feed, who is a co-op of our local farmers. Where we have been getting organic and locally grown fruits and vegetables. These are some of the blueberries that we got from last school year towards around the springtime. And I have also been doing a couple of posts on our social media pages to let our families know that we have been getting local produce to us. It's also important to note that a lot of our school items, our cereals are made specifically for K to 12 schools. So the cereals that we serve in our cafeterias, you cannot find them at the grocery store. Our concha is made with whole wheat grain. So even though you see those heavy grain items on our menu, they are items that are specifically made for K to 12 schools. And you'll see like our little, a little image of what you will find on our cereal boxes. Oh, this is a picture of John David, our apprentice for this school year. So I also want to share that this school year, we have new regulations that impacted positively our meal nutrition patterns, and that is having sugar limits. So basically, for our breakfast cereals, no, we cannot have no more than 6 grams of added sugar per dry ounce. Our yogurts are no more than 12 grams of added sugars per 6 ounces. And our flavored milk should have no more than 10 grams of added sugar per 8 fluid ounces. We used to do chocolate milk last school year once a month, and we just kind of stopped doing it this year. Maybe we'll order it once for like a nice special event, but we no longer have any flavored milk. Because even though this school year our chocolate milk does fit the requirements, but when we have to look at our overall weekly limits of sugars, added sugars, for the school year 2027, you have to have a 10% reduction of sugar. So we thought it would be easier to phase it out earlier than waiting last minute. This school year, our department is going over an administrative review. It happens every 5 years, and it's kind of intense. Some of the key areas that they go over is meal compliance to make sure that our menus are meeting the regulations. We go over eligibility and benefits. We go over our food safety and civil rights. All food service employees have to be trained on an annual basis on civil rights. They review financial management, staff and training. All staff members should need to have a minimum of a certain training hours per school year. So they go over that. And they also look into our wellness committee and if we are doing outreach. And essentially the goal is to maintain program integrity, ensure that students have access to nutritious meals. And since we are federally funded, it's essentially to protect the federal funds. They have not selected a site. I thought they would select it by the time I had this meeting, but we haven't determined that. I also want to take this opportunity to brag about our the sanitary and clean kitchens that we have. This that you see up here is our health inspection reports. So we are supposed to ask for 2 health inspection reports for each of our sites. They are unannounced, and these are the last ones that we got. I believe it was in October that they came unannounced to check our items. They make sure that your basic items, like such as your items are 6 inches off the floor, your foods are at the correct temperature, if there's any signs of pests. And these are the recent ones, but if you look at our previous reports, it's very rare that we get any points deducted. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to highlight that because that shows that our department has been working really great to make sure that we are providing a safe and healthy and positive school environment. And to finalize our presentation Here's a picture of when our department dressed up as old school lunch ladies a couple of years ago. When I think about school meals and putting everything together, I like to look at it, think about it as if it were a Rubik's Cube. You have all these pieces together. You're trying to fit the pieces in together, but they never fit flawlessly. So we try to do our best with the federal, state, local, and all the regulations, along with trying to make sure that our students who are essentially our customers that are eating our foods are happy, make sure that our staff is also happy and well to be working in our kitchens. So that's the end of my presentation, unless somebody has any questions.
I just want to add to Rosa's presentation a little bit. I commend her and her staff for the amazing job that they do in feeding our students and a lot of our staff members as well. We did have a visit from St. Helena last spring. That CBO from St. Helena came and viewed our kitchen at CES and our serving times and going through the lunch process. And she was very impressed with not only the way we do things, but the types of food we serve and the honestly cooked from scratch food we do compared to other school districts. So just thank you, Rosa, to you and your team for the good work that you guys do.
Awesome. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation. I did have the opportunity to sit down with Rosa a few weeks ago and talk the nitty-gritty details of what is served to our kids. And I just want to say thank you for the work that you and your team do and for providing clarification on that even though it says cereal, it's not the cereal that you buy on the shelf. It's specifically for K through 12 schools. And providing the description of the whole grain percentage and all of that, I think is very helpful. So thank you.
I had a lot of fun at our meeting.
Yeah, I
talking
did.
about that. That's really what I like to do is talk about that.
I also wanted to say thanks and share that at my house, the favorite breakfast is the breakfast burrito, and she plans her whole week, month around that. So
They
well
are really
done.
good breakfast burritos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody.
Next up, 7.1 Williams Settlement Review Letter.
So I just wanted to share, we received our official letter from Napa County Office of Ed regarding our Williams visit. They had given us kind of a preview into what their report was going to be. They came in September, and the purpose of the visit were to look at 4 areas. 1, to determine if students have access to sufficient instructional materials. 2 is, are we in compliance with our facilities maintenance to ensure that there's no emergency or urgent threats to our facilities? That the schools provided accurate data for our school accountability report card, and that all classrooms have a copy of the current uniform complaint procedure displayed. So as per the Williams requirements, they visit 25% of the classrooms as well as all of the common areas, restrooms, rest of the campus. And there were 0 findings, which we expected. And then she just wanted to offer congratulations to all involved. So I'll just read that paragraph. I'd like to offer my congratulations to CJUSD's Superintendent, Dr. Audra Pittman, and the facilities and operations staff for keeping all campuses in excellent condition. Credit also goes to the Director of Educational Services and Human Resources, Michael DeFrancesco, for the instructional support provided in schools. And last but not least, I also wish to acknowledge the site principal, Monica Baldenegro, for her continued support and ensuring students have what they need to be successful in school.
Great. All right, Student Board Representative.
So next is, it was brought up by one of the board members. I kind of talked about it a little bit last month, but I did want to bring it to the rest of the board to have a conversation about, we have a student board representative that's usually a 1-year term. And so the question was twofold. One is, did we want to see if we wanted to offer it to a second high school student so that it could kind of be a 2-year term? Or did we want to bring in a 7th or 8th grader so that we have a perspective from the 7th or 8th grade team? I've been going back and forth with the 7th and 8th grade ASB teacher to meet with him and his students. So I don't know if they are interested at this point. But I was just wanted to talk to the board about what your thoughts were on, would you be comfortable with having a second representative so that we can get more student voice at our meetings?
My comment, I'd be very interested in how the student feels about that, and I defer to the student body.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it would be great to get 7th and 8th grade perspective. I don't know how comfortable they would feel speaking at a meeting. If they feel comfortable, then great. Would love to hear the perspective. Also wouldn't want to make them feel like they have to speak in front of a room full of adults if that's not what they're comfortable with. So I would defer to whatever the students feel best represents them.
Yeah, I just said that I don't have an issue with the students being here. That's fine.
So I will follow up with the ASB teacher and the 7th and 8th graders. I can think offhand, there's probably a couple that would feed off of sitting at the table, sharing with us the 7th and 8th grade experience. But I also think, to your point, there could be a balance of if they aren't comfortable, maybe they could write a report, which we could share, and or they could come if they feel comfortable. But I do think it's important, especially since we're a 7-12 campus, that oftentimes our 7th and 8th graders aren't elevated as their own grade or class. And so this would be an opportunity to, that they know that they also have a voice around things that occur on campus.
All right, 7.3, proposed 2026 board meeting dates.
So these are the dates for 2026. Most of them are the first Monday of the month. There are a couple that are different, and so I just want to call those out. January 20th is the Tuesday, and that we hold it on that Tuesday because we're on winter break. And then the Monday is a holiday, and so we have it after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. April 13th is off as well because of spring break. June, we hold 2, so that we have our public hearing for the LCAP and budget, and then we have our adoption. In August, July, we don't meet, unless we have a special meeting. In August, we have, 2 if needed based on the state budget. So we hold the August 3rd if we need to report on a 45-day report. Otherwise, we'll hold it on August 17th after school has started. September 14th. I'm not quite sure why it's September 14th.
It's usually like the
It
second.
is because September 7th is the first Monday. It just felt really late. So Labor Day is late this year, so that's why it's September 14th. And then December 14th is because it has to be after the second Friday because it's an election year. And so we cannot hold the board meeting until after the second Friday in December if there is a change in school board members. So those are our dates. So if there's any, this is a first reading. And then if there's anything that you guys might want to change or consider, we will vote on it at our December meeting.
Not that I get a vote, but can I make a suggestion?
Always.
March 2nd is very early, and that's a second interim reporting period. If we could have the next Monday, which is March 9th, that would help a lot in scheduling out duties.
No objection.
So I'll make that note and then we will vote on it at our next board meeting.
7.4, board policies and administrative regulations.
So this is the first reading for board policy 0510, which is the school accountability report card. And then AR E1, E2 for 1312.4, which is the Williams Uniform Complaint Procedures. The updates are strictly law related in terms of adding new pieces that have to be on there based on new legislation.
All right, reports 8.1, student representative.
No report.
Okay. 8.2, Calistoga Associated Teachers.
Is this on? Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to give updates on a couple of things related to the dual immersion program. First update is that I haven't spoken with all the members, but the teachers I have spoken with are pleased with the selection of CABE as a consulting partner or planning partner for this process. So we're pleased to report that. The second update, I just wanted to give a status report because as the district is aware, CAT has demanded a bargain that impacts to working conditions pertaining to this program. So we've been in the process of investigating and evaluating what those impacts might be. And so our next steps right now are we're in talks with other school districts that have some similarities with us, such as Winters and Kelseyville. So as soon as we can ramp up that process of kind of investigation and communicating with other teachers who've been through similar changes, then we should be ready to start negotiations around this. Any questions? Yeah.
Thank you. 8.3, Classified School Employees Association.
No report.
8.4, Calistoga Elementary School Principal.
So she is in another meeting because they rescheduled a meeting since we rescheduled till 4. So I'm going to read her report.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm going to be both principals today. So this is submitted by Nicole Lamar Arneson, principal. LCAP goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. Parent notification letters went out for first and second grade families regarding the reading difficulty screener that we gave this year. We're planning to give more information about this new assessment to our families during parent conferences, which are next week. During our last professional development day, we reviewed common formative assessments at the November At the November staff meeting, we brought samples of grade level CFAs and conducted a gallery walk where staff could see examples. Follow-up discussion included common grading practices and implementing the professional learning community model to talk about trends and instructional practices, which showed success. One of our adjunct duty positions is Lead to Literacy, which focuses on supporting structured literacy implementation. As a team, we began to put together a list of instructional norms to support consistency in implementing structured literacy. We will be following up with K-2 teachers during collaboration time. LCAP goal number 2, provide a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. On November 5th, we had our first band concert. Last year, we tried to have all 3 concerts in December. It was difficult to schedule due to all the activities which occur in December. Last year, one of our groups did not perform until the last week prior to winter break, and unfortunately, we had a very low turnout. However, yesterday, nearly all of our students came to the performance. Additionally, some students were honored for how many minutes a day they practiced. We are looking to try to rotate performances in the future so that we can continue to have high participation. And on October 23rd, we had our first annual Unity Day. Students and staff wore orange. Activities focused on anti-bullying messages and creating an inclusive environment. Student Council also did an excellent job creating skits for classes which had powerful messages about bullying and inclusivity. LCAP goal number 3, increase parent engagement and enhance communication. Our October parent engagement meeting at CES was well attended. We focused on October activities. In October, our PTO had lower attendance due to being rescheduled because of the Amazon cloud interruption. We will follow up in November and continue to plan for events at CES. On November 18th, 20th, and 21st, we will have our parent conferences. And during these conferences, we will review current report card progress and co-create ways to support our learners. That is her report.
Oh, okay, great. Any questions? Okay, 8.5, Calistoga Junior Senior High School Principal.
Now I'm acting as Monica Baldenegro. Goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. CJSHS engaged in professional development during the month of October with a focus on professional learning communities and focused note-taking. The Avid site team led the training on focused note-taking, sharing personal experiences and observations with using focused note-taking in the classroom across all grade levels. Students' notes were reviewed and analyzed, as well as time provided to build upon current note-taking processes to engage in all 5 steps of focused note-taking. Posters were also created and shared with all teachers outlining the key steps with focus note taking. The goal is for all teachers to use the same language and steps when teaching the note-taking process. Additionally, we plan to provide opportunities for teachers to support and observe each other with the process as the year progresses. The end of the first semester is quickly approaching with 5 weeks left until winter break. Finals will be the week of December 15th through the 19th with minimum days at the end of that week. They've also begun to discuss new courses that may be offered in the 26-27 school year and the impacts on the master schedule. Goal 2, to provide a safe and healthy and positive school environment. During the month of October, the junior senior high school held its annual homecoming week with spirited dress-up days, break time activities, float decorating, and closing out the week with both junior high and high school rallies, parade through town, and sporting events. The planning and organization from the ASB leadership class encouraged and included many students to participate in the homecoming activities. CJSHS is providing extracurricular activities with Prop 28 funds, including DJ and sound production, folkloreo, dance, and drama. We continue to reach out to individuals in the community with specialized knowledge and experience with arts education. Students have been attending these workshops after school and gaining exposure, practice, and new skill sets with these offerings. They plan to continue to offer these unique learning opportunities for our students, as well as expand what we currently offer. And goal number 3, increase parent engagement and enhance communication. During the first week of November, they held the first snack and chat at 4:30 to provide an afternoon time for parents to converse with site administration. Moving forward, they will rotate monthly with coffee with the principal in the morning and snack and chat in the afternoon. This will allow for some flexibility for parents who work in the morning and or evening to have options. They held their annual Day of the Dead event last Tuesday, November 4th, and it was well attended by students, parents, and community members. The event is a collaborative effort with support from multiple teachers, students, and site administration. This event not only creates a sense of community for our students and families, but brings together individuals of all ages to spend time together and enjoy each other's presence. That's her report.
Any questions? I did really like the pozole after the concert. That was really nice because it was excellent. And then also you could go to the concert, get dinner, and go home and be done. So that was great. All right. 8.6, Director of Facilities.
Hello, everyone. So first update is on the fields. We made it through the football and the soccer season. I'd like to thank the ADs and the coaches for their patience and flexibility. It was a kind of a rough October, and just getting all the people in there and making sure they're safe and getting able to practice, and just appreciate the patience. The next step is this week they're going to be receiving the bleachers and starting assembly there. The track surfacing is going to start this month. I don't have an exact date for that. And then the concession stand will be coming around mid-December. So next is the TK rooms. We did make it out of CGS and DSA finally. And they pretty much hit the ground running. The construction team has worked with JLN, the modular company that we're getting the building from. And they said pretty much once they're moving, just stay out of their way. And they've already got the structural steel erected. The exterior walls are framed. This week they'll be doing interior walls and window framing. So it should move along pretty quick. And then just for the elementary school staff and admin, I'd like to thank you for your patience, because all these projects are great. They're going to be great in the long run, but it really takes a lot of patience and coordination to keep school going with everything. The generators, the initial plan review in DSA has been completed right now. Our design team is just going through the comments from the DSA reviewers to answer questions or change any specs that we need to change. We still aren't quite ready for the high school to go to DSA. We're having a really hard time figuring out how to connect to the existing switchgear, which is basically where PG&E comes into our site and where we'd connect the generator. They don't have a solution yet, but we're really hoping they can find something, because changing out the switchgear would be extremely expensive. So fingers crossed for that. And then just a side note, with the issues we've been having at the elementary school with water, the city got me set up with a monitoring program on my computer. It's not real-time updates as water is being used, but I could see everything that was used the day before. So and it's down to fractions of a gallon. So it shows where spikes are, and you could kind of see consistency in areas. But one thing that was nice to see is in the off hours, unless there's irrigation going, it's just a straight line of, so it means that there's no leaks at the moment. So yeah, it'll be good to have though once we've had it for a while, because it unfortunately it didn't give me historical data. Pretty much gave me data from the time I logged in and had my account set up. So as time goes on, I'll be able to look back. So after a year, it'll be nice to be able to really compare. So that's it. Any questions? All right.
Thank you. 8.7, Director of Educational Services and Human Resources.
No report for this evening.
All right. 8.8, Director of Business Services.
Evening. I don't know if you're aware, but we're in our 41st day of a federal government shutdown, the longest in American history. I'm sure you've heard that in the news. It does look like there might be somewhat of an agreement because 8 people of the Senate that are on the Democratic side might side with the Republicans, and we may see an end to this shutdown yet. So I just wanted to report that really fast. So last meeting, I talked with the board about CalPADS and all the other different reporting requirements that we do with CalPADS Fall 1. At that time, I told the board we were at about 67% of our unduplicated count for our students for the Fall 1 reports. Since then, we've approved that percentage and we're trending to the norm, and we currently sit at 87%. So remember, unduplicated student count is our free and reduced lunch. Rosa talked about that we're at 85.5 or something like that. And then it also involves English learners, homeless and foster students, and we can only count a student once. So 87% is normally about what we trend at. So we're back up. I wanted to thank Rosa and Alex, Monica Garibay, and then Veronica and Maria in both the school offices. Within 10 days, they reached out to over 150 student parents and were able to get the information needed in order to get our percentage up. And the reason this is really important is because not only does it help with other state allocations when the state gives us money for one-time funds or lottery and things like that, it does help our allocation. It's really important that we also are able to not only feed our students, but know who those students are in those various categories. Last meeting, we also had a request from a board member to come back with why students are leaving our district. And so I know that Cynthia is working on that right now and gathering up all that data. So we'll have that for you at the December board meeting. Audits, and more audits still. Christy White has finished our annual district audit. We're in the process. They've actually finished the entire audit, which is fantastic. That normally doesn't happen until the beginning of December. So I'm actually getting it a couple weeks early, and I'm going over it with them right now to work out any of the kinks before it goes up to the state. We had our first budget advisory committee meeting on October 29th. We went over some Calistoga JUSD facts, as well as income and expenditures for the district. We talked about our personnel and staffing at that meeting. We talked about all of our staffing and what positions are needed in order for us to open our doors to education on the first day of school, and then what other positions are considered supplemental. It was a good discussion to be had. I don't think we think in those terms a lot. And so, what do we need to actually operate our instructional program on a yearly basis? And then what do we get to have that extra support for our students? So it was a good discussion. We're going to continue the work at our next meeting. We'll talk about non-related expenditures in the same kind of format, basic expenditures versus supplemental expenditures. So things that we need in order to teach students, and then all that other stuff that we get to provide that extra support to our students. I think all in all, it went well. It was nice to be able to communicate some of our staffing as to why we have certain positions, in addition to whether or not those positions are paid for with restricted versus unrestricted funds, because that means a lot in looking forward for our district, especially when we're taking a lot of our restricted dollars and moving them back to unrestricted. So that discussion was good as well. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 21st in the district office conference room. And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Pittman for her help in communication with everything on the budget committee. She was integral in getting people into the committee, just sending out the notifications and asking people to volunteer, and also the communication of the agendas and things like that. So I appreciate your help with all of that. I think you've heard me mention a couple of times how much I appreciate things. I am on to the gratitude, and it is my new attitude for the month of November. And I just want to give thanks. I want to express my gratitude and all the thankfulness I have for the staff I do work with on a daily basis. I think in admin, without the support staff that we have at the district office, we would never get our jobs done. And so I'm just so grateful for not only the staff I have in the business office, but our entire district support staff. I think a lot of times we don't go enough and thank them and let them know how grateful we are for them. So I'm just wanting to give another shout out. And then also, I want to thank our board because I know that it takes a lot to sit on the board of a school district, make decisions that you have to make. And I know that it's in all positiveness of our family and students in our community. So thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you. 8.9, Superintendent.
So I'm just going to add on to Maureen's discussion around the Budget Advisory Committee. I just want to thank all of the people that volunteered to be on the committee. I feel it was a very fruitful conversation in terms of us learning more about what goes on in terms of a school district budget. And I'm looking forward to the continued conversations that this team brings. We met from 3:45 to 5:45. And so it was really, nobody got up and left early. Everybody was engaged and we really had some thoughtful conversations. Mr. Godinez is on that team as CAT president, and I just want to thank each of the members that are on there for the thoughtful conversations that we were able to have. Today was a professional development day. As you know, your children were at home today or at the Boys and Girls Club. And so this morning we had an organization that we've used in the past, Circle Up Education, work with us on cultural competency and culturally responsive teaching. Talked a lot about asset-based and how we work with our students and our families. And then the afternoon was around parent partnerships led by Digital Promise. And so if you're at home watching this video, don't forget the second half of our parent partnership work is this evening starting at 5 in the small gym, and Digital Promise will be leading that conversation with our parents to talk about how we can co-design and co-define what parent partnerships in Calistoga look like. We have our first official dual language planning team meeting with CABE this Thursday. So we're excited to get that going so that we can get into the nuts and bolts of what this is going to look like. This Wednesday in the evening, you should have received an invitation, is our Avid Friends and Family dessert with our high school, junior and senior high school Avid students. Last week I went to Transcend. We are partners with them because starting out with our rural initiative in the work that we did with them. But because of that, in addition to that, I was also part of the superintendent's fellowship. And so I was invited. There were 8 of us that were invited of the original 60 alumni to attend as alumni. And it's a really fruitful experience. I want to thank the board for allowing me the time to go for those 3 days to deepen my own professional growth as a superintendent and surrounded by superintendents across the nation, thinking about being learner-centered leaders. And so it was a really fruitful endeavor. And then just a reminder that the first week of December, we will be in Sacramento for our annual CSBA conference and to deepen our work as a governance team. And that's what my report is.
We're going on Tuesday. We go down Tuesday night.
It is, yes. So this year it's shifted. They're going to be rotating on an annual basis. So now it's Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, and half day Friday. And so we'll come back Friday afternoon.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, consent agenda. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff requests specific items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Can I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. This is a roll call. President Rothberg Allen, aye. Clerk Reed,
Absent.
Trustee Lopez Jones,
Absent.
Trustee Rios, Trustee Gonzalez,
Aye.
Student Representative Enriquez.
Absent.
Action items. Protocol for action items includes staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 5.2, annual and 5-year developer fees report.
Hey, you have two reports in front of you today, and the first one is the 24-25 annual report for developer fees. And this is a report that needs to come to the board within 180 days of closing out our fiscal year. So as of June 30th, counting forward 180 days. And for the year 24-25, we received over $346,000 in income. That's based on developer fees received as well as interest. And 198,000 of that 346 came from Calistoga Hills Resort. So that was a big deposit that we had in our account last year. And then Civic Park Silverado and Civic Park Cinnabar were the other big deposits for last year. So they brought in a total combined of 114,000. So most of that was big developers doing some work in Calistoga, which is a good thing. And we did not spend $1 of that last year because we have a plan to spend that. We want to use all of this income and the income we received for 25-26 on our TK building construction. And so that's what we'll be using those dollars for. We did empty out the fund in well, actually, I'll talk about that in the next report, unless you have questions.
Okay. No. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the developer fee report as presented?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So 10.3 is professional services agreement with CABE.
Wait, we have one more report on developer fees. Sorry.
She has to do the
I have to
5
do the 5-year.
Oh, okay. Understood.
I know you're anxiously awaiting. So last time we did a 5-year report was in 22-23. And so I'm bringing it back around. We're just going to continue to do it on a yearly basis going forward. And then we don't have to keep track of the 5 years. In order to comply with this report, we have to comply with Government Code Section 66001 and 66006. All of the things you see in that report are the issues that we need to comply with. So if there's a response to those bolded, highlighted areas, that means we do comply with those different aspects of those government code sections in that 5-year report. We cleared out our developer fees in 23-24, and we used what we had in the fund, a little over $400,000 in 23-24 to pay for interim housing while our STEM building was being constructed. And now moving forward, like I just said 30 seconds ago, we're going to use all of the money we received last year and this year to pay for our TK building at the end of 25-26. And then going forward, we can use those funds to pay for modernizations at school sites as well. So that's pretty much the 5-year report.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. 10.3 professional services agreement with CABE.
So at our October 23rd special board meeting, the board approved working with CABE to provide professional development services for supporting planning and implementation of our new Spanish dual language immersion program. This agreement reflects the agreed upon terms and deliverables of 8 days for the 25-26 school year for $44,000. So we ask that the board approve the official professional services agreement.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, 11.1 board member reports. Got it.
Hey. I would like to touch on a point that was brought up during the beginning of the meeting when Mr. Allen's comment was read regarding school safety during drop off and pickup. As I'm sure everyone here is aware that a parent was hit by a car in a crosswalk walking their child to school. Although it didn't happen on school grounds, I think that it is still our responsibility to help ensure the safety of our children and our families. Sorry. I think that I have brought up the issues with drop off quite a few times. I have followed up quite a few times, and change has not happened. And now that an accident has happened on our watch, I'm done playing nice, quote unquote. A change needs to happen. I'm not saying that this ball needs to put in one person's court. I'm happy to volunteer my time to help make the drop-off lane. If we open up the half circle, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. student safety is something that parents shouldn't have to worry about when they're bringing their kids to school and when they're picking their kids up. And right now it's my fear every time I drop off my daughter at school. I don't even let her open the door without getting out first because cars are doing U-turns and turning around, and 90% of the time there is no personnel there to help. Our SRO is nowhere to be found. And I'm just personally, as a parent, fed up. So something needs to change. Again, I'm not delegating this to anyone. I want to be part of the solution, but the safety of our students needs to be first and foremost, and also the safety of parents when they are bringing their kids to school. It's unfortunate that something like this had to happen to cause change, but sometimes this is how we need to respond. I don't think we can continue the way that we have. And something needs to change, and it needs to happen now. So.
I appreciate everything that you're saying. And I think that today is an interesting day for us because we had our parent partnership session this afternoon and into tonight. And one of the learnings that they brought to the table was this idea of when working with really any constituents is there's an inform section, there's a consult section, and then there's a co-create section. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to co-create between the school, parents, and our city in terms of how to keep our community members safe as we walk and bike to school, knowing that Calistoga really wants to promote a walking and biking environment. So I want to use this as an opportunity for us to use this new learning in terms of partnerships around co-creating a solution that will hopefully fit the needs of our community.
And while I do respect that, working with the city can definitely slow down the process. So I don't want to wait for them to make change, because that is slower than molasses sometimes. And this needs to happen now. So I'm not saying like right now, but right now. So.
All right, 11.2 board member calendar.
December 8th.
Okay, December 8th. Future tentative agenda items? None? Okay, anyone? Do I have the wrong thing? Things.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah. Annual organizational
Okay,
and
First interim.
first interim. And reasons why or where students go when they leave us.
oh, okay, great. No need to go back to closed session. And 11.6, a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second, all in favor? Aye.
Dinner is served if you are here. By all means, go to the small gym, have dinner, and then hang out for our parent partnership.
Okay. That was fast.